Hello, hello. I am Zoc, and this is Dataforge. Welcome to another exciting episode. We're gonna have some fun with the Master Vault. I'm sure you all have heard all the latest big news, but we'll go over it, including a little tiny snippet of insight from GG. Very tiny, very tiny. All right, let's get right into it. Dataforge, the fun of Keyforge. The news is big. People were very excited about the news. We're of course going to do our TCO meta wash, fresh marks, where we take a look at the latest big sales of high SAS decks. We're going to skip Zoc's deck spotlight this week, and then we'll crack a pack, which I forgot to get ready, but we'll just go get one. Okay. With that, let's jump right in to the big Ghost Galaxy news. Although there's more news than that. There's also the bad penny press. But first off, Ghost Galaxy announced that they made an enhancement to the Master Vault. As they say here, of course, enhancements were introduced in Mass Mutation, but the enhancements weren't present in the Master Vault, and it was believed this information had been lost. That is until now. That's right. Enhancements for all decks are now in the Master Vault. This has already gone live. And so, this here is an example of a Mass Mutation deck with a couple enhancements on the cards, and we're gonna check out some fun examples as well. But here's what it shows up if you look at a specific card in the Master Vault, showing what enhancements that card has at the bottom. And they announced this yesterday and went live today. And even more amazing, TCO has already been updated so that when you import decks, they automatically bring in all their enhancements. There was a tiny little bug with that for cards that have the same name if they're enhanced different ways. I'm not sure if they've fixed that yet already, but one thing I wanted to give a shout out to is the Crucible Online. It's been our main way to play like over the last 2 or 3 years. They've been keeping the game alive with the pandemic, with no OP for years. So, if you have the means, why don't you go take a look at their Patreon, patreon.com/thecrucible. And if you have the means, why don't you see if you can support them a little bit. I think it's worth it. They've done so much for the community, and they are always on top of getting the latest updates out, which is really amazing. So, patreon.com/thecrucible to give some support to the TCO devs. They're doing an amazing job. And they deserve all the support. They've been helping keep the game alive, along with all of you. So let's check out the Master Vault. Let's check out some fun decks. I went through my collection and found some fun enhancements. Some are good and some are bad. Here we have a Fission Bloom with 2-drop pips, and the reason it is so sad is because, of course, Fission Bloom, once it's down there as an artifact, lets you use it to double up each bonus icon a second time. So you kind of don't want the bonus pips on Fission Bloom, you want them on other cards. So I thought that was a little bit of a sad trombone. Let's see what else we got. In the deck, it that disincentivizes happiness. We have just a small little fun synergy. Sagittarius Gaze. The card itself enhances a damage pip, and this card received a damage pip. And it, of course, has play Exalted Damage Creature, so a nice little synergy there. You can damage a creature with a card, and then exalt it right away. Yeah, that's a fun little enhancement. And nice to see you, Floximal. Next up, what do we got? We have Londo, Meaningless Refinery Citizen. Okay, here we have a big sad trombone. In Guilty Hearts, we have a capture pip. And Guilty Hearts, of course, says play, destroy each creature with Ember on it. So pretty much if you play this, you have to capture on your own creature and then destroy it. Very sad. uh, that deserves pulling out my new emote. If you have the Better TTV extension, there's some cool new animated emotes, like this is Keyforge. And we also have it. Wait, have they not updated this? Oh, that's right. That's right. So we have that for now. Plan to do some other changes to my emotes over time, but I thought that one was fun. What just happened here? What just happened? Okay, there we go. Okay, next up, after that sad Guilty Hearts, in the deck Norberg of Morph Hollow, we have another just really nice simple synergy, a capture pip on Mug, and of course Mug says play, move one ember from a creature to your pool. So you can capture an ember on your creature, hit it with Mug, and boom, you got 2 embers. It's more or less an ember for playing it and a stolen ember. And it even gets around steal if they have like a Odoactive Patrician out or something like that. So nice little synergy there. Next up, in Miss Catalina, the Stalking Boar, we have a really nice enhanced causal loop with an amber pip and a draw pip. And causal loop, of course, says play, archive a card, archive causal loop. So that means every time you play Logos, you can pretty much play causal loop. So that's pretty nice with a draw pip and an amber pip. And this one also has a fission bloom, so you can double it up. 2 amber and 2 draw each time you play it. Very nice. All right, next up in the deck, KT Konzix of the Bastion Underworld. What do we got here? We got a really fun Pain Mail with a capture and a damage pip. And why this is fun is Pain Mail can also reoccur. It reads, it's an upgrade, and it reads, this creature gains, after any player chooses Dis as their active house, put Pain Mail into its owner's archives and destroy this creature. So as long as a creature is not destroyed another way, if somebody calls Dis, then Pain Mail will go back to your archives and you can keep playing this. So nice to have some extra enhancements on that. All right, next up, this is from one of my decks that was actually I played in the first season of NKFL that I was in 2 or 3 seasons ago. From Yasafras, the Demolisher of Rakatovi. We have a really nice QMax with an Amber Pip and a draw pip. So it, of course, already says play, draw a card. Now you're drawing 2 cards, but it also has destroyed Archive QMX, so you can play it almost every time you play Logos, getting 2 draws and an Amber Pip. Pretty sweet. All right, next up we have Lambsbury of Auto Lane. And we have another fun QMX here with a double capture pip QMX, or draw pip, sorry. Double draw pip QMX, so 3 draws every time you play that. Fun little one there. All right, 2 more. We got Mud Poet, the Vault Warrior, Scofflaw. Here we have another fun causal loop with 2 damage pips and a draw pip. So that's pretty nice. You can kill a 2-power creature kind of every Logos turn and draw a card. And finally, this was a very unique enhancement here, just because of the rarity. There is only 3 enhanced cards. However, 2 of the enhancements appeared on the card that brought those enhancements and synergizes with it very well. So this is the Unusual Magistrate of Variopolis, and it has a Cronus with 2 draw pips. Beautiful, and it of course reads, after you resolve a draw bonus icon, you may archive a card. So you play down this Cronus, boom, right away you can draw 2 and then archive 2. So that's pretty nice. Okay. So I thought it would be fun since they added the capability of seeing enhancements in the Master Vault to let's check it out. Check out some cool enhancements and see what it's all about. All right. Next in the news, we talked about it's actually a collaboration between this stream, Dataforge, the Reddit subreddit, the Keyforge subreddit, and Arcana. And what I refer to is Bad Penny Press. So, Bad Penny Press is a weekly Keyforge newsletter, and it is available in a lot of different ways to get it. It's available here on Substack, which we're looking at here. This is how it views on Substack, and every week we're gonna go over pretty much the same categories. We have top stories, ask a judge, which has unique rules scenarios, online play wrap up, where so far we've been looking at in KFL status of the Diamond division. We've referenced the bracket from the Archon Best of 3 qualifier league that's going on right now for the Keyforge Premier League. This is one area where I'm thinking of maybe, if there's interest, also having a kind of a online play extra where we dig into it even more, kind of as a add-on maybe once a week or every couple weeks. But we'll see. We'll see if there's interest. We also have a content feature every week, and then the number of registered decks from the Master Vault. This week we had a content feature from Moonroof, aka Simon Finchley, who just finished his solo RPG, his Keyforge RPG series. So go check that out if you haven't. It's on his YouTube channel, Science Fantasy Awesome. And you can get to link on our Substack, which is substack.com/badpennypress. You can also sign up on this website for each issue to be emailed to you. So if you just want it to show up in your email, you can sign up, subscribe, and have it emailed to you. And then I am also doing a video version of Bad Penny Press and an audio version. And the audio version is available on all the major podcast networks. And of course, the video version is on YouTube, youtube.com/at Bad Penny Press. So yeah, lots of ways to get these issues of Bad Penny Press. Let us know what you think. If you got feedback, want us to improve, want us to see something that we're not doing, let us know. Definitely looking to improve it over time. But we thought it'd be a nice way for people to easily get kind of up to date on Keyforge happenings every week. And so thanks a lot to Blinking Line and DeadSync, who have helped put this together with me. DeadSync's been doing a lot of the graphics, and Blinking Line has set up the Substack. And we kind of collaborated together on what would go into these, what would it be named, what would be the frequency, what was it all about. So we'd love to hear if you have any feedback. And that is Bad Penny Press. Okay. Back to the next on our segments, which is of course a TCO Meta Watch, where we track what sets and what SAS the decks are for those that are being played in the TCO competitive queue, and we're tracking it over time. And now we have enough data that it's actually pretty interesting to look at. So let's take a look. Okay, so this is taking a look at the sets over time in the TCO competitive queue. Green is mass mutation, blue is Coda. We've had a surge of Coda over the last couple weeks. Mass mutation has always been there. Worlds Collide has been there mostly, but it's taken a few weeks off. We had another DT this week. It was actually 57 SAS DT. And then AOA is spotty as well. So that's how the competitive queue has been looking. I still am looking at a more consistent way to get this data. Right now it's all manual, but I think it could be even more effective if there's a more consistent way of getting the data. When we go down and take a look at the SAS, that 70-74 range was pretty hot today. And kind of we definitely still see that between 70 to 84 is a hot spot. Those three different categories, orange, green, and yellow. But we actually had a couple low SAS decks in the competitive queue. We had I think it was like a 63 SAS AOA and a 57 SAS DT today. So they both look pretty cool too. The AOA one had a couple key abductions and 4 Hexbions. So in theory, you could maybe, and it had a bunch of Mars first and a proliferator. So in theory, you could get enough cards in your archive so that you could maybe forge 2 keys one turn and another key another turn. I don't know. So that is the TCO Meta Watch. On to the next one, which of course is Fresh Marks, where we take a look at the latest decks, high SAS decks for sale, what's gone up for sale, and also what has been selling. So let's take a quick look at that. There were some changes here and there, but we'll only do some of the big ones. So there was one that was listed for 500 euros, which appears to be bought by La Fibra. This is this 67 SAS AOA, and the reason why this low SAS deck is on here is because it was a Genka. Let's see. Here's another one that was listed for $300 from Anthony Boygod, which appears that it's sold. So we'll take a look at both of those. And then there was this 93 Coda deck that Errant Long was selling. This was on auction, and I think it had a minimum bid of either 250 euros or 300 euros. And it appears that that's sold to Marvig. Oh, yeah. And yeah, there was this deck that was listed back on the 1st, and then it went off market and it was listed again. And it was listed for $1,100, a 94 SAS Coda deck. And it appears that it may have sold. It's not for sale anymore, and I do think there's a new person as an owner on the deck, so we'll take a look at that. We also saw this, one of the Ambermedes decks that we looked at last week sold to Madaps. It was listed at 150. Now, even with all these listings, of course, there's probably negotiation that happened. So who knows how much these decks sold for. And then we'll also take a look at all these decks. These are all new decks that have been listed since last week. And one of them, it was listed for $2,200. It's a 100 SAS Worlds Collide deck, and it sold almost immediately. And who knows how much it went for, but it was listed for over $2,000. So, and the fact that it sold so quickly, I'm guessing it went pretty high. And then this deck that over 1,000, that was listed for over 1,000, sold too. Somebody is putting out some money. That is very crazy. So we're gonna take a look at all these decks. Let's get into it. First, we'll do the 3 or 4 that sold from the ones that were already listed before this week. So this is the Genka deck, which it was listed for 500 euros. I'm guessing there was some negotiation. Double Martian Generosity, a Key Abduction. There is a Mars First, but no Proliferator. It's got Double Hysteria, which can also set up Key Abduction. It's got Exhume. And it's got Heart of the Forest, which may have been also one of the drawing points. So that one sold. Next up, we have this VC Shea. 90 SAS Worlds Collide. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Let's see, this is... I already forgot how much this sold for. VC Shea. Potentially $300. Double Nature's Call, Mimicry, Ghost Talk, Double Unnatural Selection. A Helmsman Spears with 2 encounter suits and a Lieutenant Kurkar. And then in Shadows, we have Double Trust No One, Double Chain Gang, Double Subtle Chain, a Manchego, Ronnie Wrist Clocks. Yeah, interesting. Okay. Next up, this was the one that was on auction, and I think the minimum bid was either 250 or 300 euros. All the auctions ended that were on auction from a rent long, so it's possible that there was also some negotiation that happened here, but this is the Quad Control the Weak deck. This is just awesome. Also has 3 Fates, Library of the Dam, Life Ward, Ember Imp, Succubus. The Mars is not that great. But then Tame's pretty good too. 2 Hunting Witch, Chota Hazri, Full Moon, Regrowth, and of course, Ancient Bear. So that one sold. And then this was a deck that was listed for $1,100, a 94 sats Coda deck. Control the Weak, double Dust Imp, double the Terror, Library of the Damned, Ember Imp, triple Labwork, a library access, but nothing to kind of combo with it. A sloppy Labwork, double remote access, a Neurosiphon, strange Gizmo, and double too much to protect, a bait and switch, Miasma, Nerve Blast. Looks like a fine deck. I'm not sure if it's worth $1,000 though. So this one, I'm not sure if it sold. Dennis Cambria was the selling user. They're still listed, but I do believe this Imperia Forge is new and it's no longer listed for sale, so may have sold. We'll see. And this was the Amber Meaties deck that sold the Madaps for 150, or it was listed for 150 at least. Robert's the Spy Master of Secrets. This one looked pretty cool. Ultra Gravitron, Skippy Timehawk, Dinobot, Cronus, Kurzap, Double Market Dis with an Infernus, a Shadow of Dis, and Transporter Platform with double Subject Kirby, Stunner, Lay of the Land. So, some fun stuff there. Okay, getting to the new decks that are went on sale this week. We have a few from Xander for to win, and I don't think any of these have a price listed. This is an 87 SAS Mass Mutation deck. Infernus, Eaton's Jar, double Subject Kirby, quadruple Savage Clash. Yeah, oof. If you don't like the board and you like playing Untamed a lot, this is a good deck for you. Now, what's nice about that is it does have the double Resurgence, so you can bring back like almost your whole Untamed board if you have those in hand. Because it's got 4 out of 5 mutants in Untamed. Yeah, so that is listed for sale. We also have Karim, City Father, a 89 SAS Mass Mutation deck. Infernus, double Snarette, Anguish, Obsidian Forge, Ritual of Tognath, Essence Scale, and Grim Reminder. In logos, we have double Eclectic Inquiry, Lethologica, Sloppy Labwork, Effervescent Principle, Autoencoder, Daughter. And in Sanctum, we have triple Ardent Hero, Baldric the Bold, double General Salvador, double Gizelhart Zealot, a Lieutenant Gorvanal, a Scrivener Fabian. So that's 10 Sanctum creatures along with Armageddon Cloak and Cleansing Wave. Wow. Interesting deck, actually. So that's up for sale. Let's see. I'm curious. Now that we have the Master Vault, we can see where all those capture pips are for that Scrivener Fabian, and at least one of them are on this General Salvador, including 2 draw pips. That's pretty cool. And the rest of the capture are spread throughout the deck. What's up, Dinobot? Nice to see you. All right. So that's a pretty interesting deck. Next up, let's see. This is also for sold by Xander for to win. An 87 SAS Mass Mutation deck. Yeah, Fresh Marks is fun. There was potentially a deck that sold for over $1,000, a deck that sold for over $2,000 in the last week. I guess Keyforge is back. Wow. Well, let's check out this deck. This deck can be yours. 3 Lethologica, a Chronos. So we're gonna have to check. We're gonna have to check the pips on this one to see where the draw pips are. We have double Baldric the Bold with a Master of the Gray, a Champion, and a Feel. Ardent Hero, double Font of the Eye, and a Bring Low. And in Saurian, we have a Praefictus Ludo, which is really good with all that capture. Dacilus, Faust the Great, Citizen Strix, Imperial Road to be able to play some of that off house, and Ancient Power to ward all of it, including all the Capture and Sanctum. That's a pretty cool deck. I think this deck is actually pretty good. What's up, Quick Draw? We're in the market rush right now. We're only on the third new deck of the week that's listed. Now you have missed some of the sales that happened over the last week, including one that was listed for over $1,000. But we haven't got to the one that's listed over $2,000 that sold like right away. We'll get to that. But let's check out and see where these whoops, we got to go to the Master Vault. See where those draw pips are. Okay, we got one of the draw pips in Logos to help out that Chronos, and then the other one is in Sanctum. Oh, yeah. Well, if you have thoughts on the sold decks, which one do you want to talk about? We can talk about it. I am open to going back and talking about any deck you want to talk about. Next up, a new deck for sale. It's listed for $450 from Sin J. It's a 94 SAS Worlds Collide deck. Logo Saurian Untamed. Double Eddie, Daughter, Tau Tau. Good old Data Forge. In Saurian, we have Falaphosaurus with Orador Hasaro. We have Tribute plus 6 Semper. And in Untamed, we have triple Song of the Wild with a Ghost Hawk, double Mustic Murmook, also a Regrowth, Unnatural Selection, Punctuated Equilibrium. So, 94 SAS, that can be yours. There's one in particular I wondered if you talked about. I'll check the VOD though and DM you later. Do you remember anything about it? We already reviewed, so here's the high SAS that sold in the last week that I think sold in the last week. There was the 67 SAS AOA. This was a double Martian Generosity, Key Abduction, Heart of the Forest, double Hysteria deck. It was listed for 500 euros. Who knows how much it actually sold for? There was this deck listed by Anthony Boygod for $300. I don't even remember this one. Triple Song of the Wild with Ghost Hawk is funny. That could be a nice combo from the archives. Yeah, for sure. Okay, Quick Draw can confirm VC Shea sold. Maybe they know who it sold to, but this was being sold by Anthony Boygod. It was listed for 300. This was Worlds Collide, Shadows, Star Lines Untamed, Double Nature's Call, Mimicry, Double Encounter Suit with a Helmsman Spears, Double Chain Gang, Double Subtle Chain, Double Trust No One, Manchego, Ronnie. We have this Coda 93 SAS, this 4 Control the Weak deck that sold the Marvig. This was on auction, but the auction also ended. I'm not sure. Who knows how much he bought it for? The minimum bid of the auction was either 250 or 300. But they could have. It's a really nice disc. 42 SAS disc. 42 SAS. Whoa. Yeah, so that one sold. This one looks like it sold. This $1,100 Coda 94 SAS. It was listed last week, and then it went off the market. It was listed again, and now I'm not sure if it sold. Dennis Cambria was a listed seller, but there's a new name on it, and it's no longer on the market. So, not sure if it sold or not. I mean, there's a lot of good cards in it. I'm not sure if it plays as high as a 94 SAS, but I haven't played it at all. So the triple Labwork and sloppy Labwork speed there is really nice. It's really nice. It's a spicy, very spicy. And it's got some of everything, like really well balanced. So too much to protect, you gotta play around. And it does have decent creature control, although, you know, this would lose to Board Rush, I feel like. Because it's got the Gateway to Dis and the Strange Gizmo. Everything else is pretty small. Small creature control. So if you get Gateway and Strange Gizmo right away, maybe you can take out the first rusted creatures, but I think it loses to Board Rush. Coda is back in style. Actually, the last couple weeks on the TCO Meta Watch, Coda's been more than in the past. So Coda's back. And then the last one that we had for sale, we haven't got to the $2,200 one. That's coming. But this one was one of Amber Meaties. It was listed for $150 and it sold the MedApps. 86 SAS, Mass Mutation, really nice dis, nice logos, and some speed in the Starlines too. So pretty good, well-rounded deck. Maybe a little bit low on Amber Control, but it does have the Grim Reminder to go with that Infernus and the Drekker. You could do some bouncing with the Garcia maybe if you need to. So yeah. And the other one, which we haven't got to yet, is this 100 SAS Worlds Collide deck that was listed for $2,200 and it sold really quick. We haven't got there yet. Okay, let's keep looking at the other decks that went up for sale. This is from Wyke, listed for €100. Jade of East Rise River, a Logo Saurian Star Alliance, Worlds Collide, 85 SAS. Double Tau Tau, Eddie, Academy Training, Daughter. The Saurian has Falaphosaurus with Golden Spiral and Reader Gallum, Senator Strix, Imperial Scutum. It also has Imperial Forge, but not a ton of ways to get Ember on your creatures. And then the Starlines is actually really nice. It's got Book of LEQ with Navigator Ali. That's right, Dinobot's got it. Double Kirby, Uncharted Lands, Chan, Frayne, Spears, Kirkar, Garcia with Force Field and Universal Translator. It seems like you could definitely get a good Starlines board going. Easily get through the Uncharted Lands, Amber. Poor Worlds Collide, can't find the sea. Yeah, only 4.2 creature control. It does have an Axiom, but you're definitely right about that. Okay, and then we have Gustavo being sold by Kmarge at 88 SAS Worlds Collide deck. It's being listed for $120. That is definitely a Starlines pod. This one has some fun Saurian shenanigans with double Tribute and Calliope again Ideal and double Imperial Scutum. Also Imperium and Orator Hisaro with Falaphosaurus. And the logos, double Igor, a Eddie with Hologrammophone, double Wild Wormhole, double Wormhole Technician. And in Shadows, double Hawk, double Trust No One, Ronnie, Hugger Mugger. This one, if you thought 4.2 creature control was bad, this one's only got 3 creature control. A Stomp, an Entropic Swirl, a Mug, and a Javinda. Yeah. So that is Gustavo. All right. Next up, here's a deck. Here it is. 100 SAS. It listed for $2,200. And it sold within hours. And that deserves my new emote. That's right. If you have better TTV extension installed, I have this new. Oh, it doesn't show up properly here. Dang it. I thought if I installed it here that it showed up here. Dang it. All right, I'll have to figure that one out. Well, shucks. Let's see. We'll do it live. We know another way of doing this. Where is it? There it is. We will. Let's see. Will it work if we just do this? There you go. This is Keyforge. $2,200. Okay, let's take a look at this deck. I'm not going to even try that name. But Worlds Collide, Disc Logo Shadows, and it does have fun stuff. It is a little bit low on the creature control, but it does have a Harbinger of Doom with a Gleeful Mayhem, and it's got lots of bounce with the Chimera Eclipse. So in Disc, Double Binding Irons, Exhume, Gleeful Mayhem, Poltergeist, that's your only artifact control. EE on the Fringes, Harbinger of Doom, Triple Infernus, and Double Lilithal, which are probably just EE on the Fringes food. In logos, we have Double Cutthroat Research, Information Exchange, Double Tau Vapors, Thorium Plasmate, Wild Wormhole, Hologramophone, Double Eddy, Replicator, and Discombobulator. There's not really ways to protect those eddies. There is a Hologramophone, but that's easily gotten around. There's no taunt. And then in the shadows, we have Hit and Run and Double Chimera Eclipse, and those, of course, go really well with the Ronnies and the Infernus, and even maybe the Eddies. It's got Rig Lottery, Trust No One, Breaker Hill, Hugger Mugger, of course a triple Ronnie, Risk Clocks, and double Simon. So, yeah, I agree. This one's nuts, but I'm not sure it's $2,200 nuts. It's got a lot going on. 17 creatures. The creatures are really split through the houses. It's got seven in Dis, but one of those is Harbinger. So you're not going to be trying to really own a board with this. But you have answers and kind of everything. But you really want to get a lot of value out of your Ronnies. Now, part of the problem is a board would still cause a lot of problems for this deck. Because if they have a Discombobulator, a Odoac, you go Shadows, the only way to get rid of them is a Chimera. I mean, you have a lot of ways to potentially stall with the Eddies, the Infernus, EE, although EE you can't do if they got. Yeah, I think it still struggles with board, but it's got a lot of good cards. What do you guys think? Is this gonna win the next Vault Tour? The first Vault Tour in years? This is one of the most alive exhumes. It's got really good targets in every house. My Saurian army will crush this deck, roar. I think it would, especially if you get out if you have an Odoac and you can ward it. I think it would. All right, you heard it. You heard it here first. Dinobot's winning the first Vault Tour in the Ghost Galaxy era. All right, so that's supposedly sold. Jackson was the seller. So this was a picture just from 4 days ago. This was a picture from the seller. Yeah, no idea who bought it though. All right, moving on. MJ Scott, a 93 SAS mass mutation deck. This is being sold by Easy Galena, aka Chelsea 98. Doesn't have a price. This logo's untamed. This is a Dark Harbinger deck with 8 mutants and Wild Bounty and a Ghost Hawk, but no Song of the Wild. Double Reclaimed by Nature, though. And it's got Autoencoder, Sloppy Labwork, Eclectic Incree, Lethologica, a couple bots, and the disc, Markadis, Dominator Bible, Obsidian Forge, Bravel, and Furnace. We got to check out the pips on the Relentless Creeper, the enhancement there, to see what it's got. And a Legacy of the Terror. That's fun. Yeah, let's check out. We've got to go to the Master Vault, the latest Master Vault, to see the enhancements on this. What does that creeper have? It's got a draw pip. Okay, so pretty much every disc, you got a draw coming. That's a nice sloppy lab work. Quick draw. Chew Ember and a capture. That's a fancy sloppy lab work. Okay. And that troop call can bring back that Niflay, but it's only got a damage pip. Alright, so moving on. Not too shabby. We have an 87 SAS Coda deck. This is being also sold by Easy Galena. And they're Chelsea 98 on DOK. It's already got a 125 euro offer that was rejected. And a 100 euro offer that was rejected. So this is a cool time traveler deck, and what's cool about it is it's got a Maverick soft landing, so you can land the time traveler and use the action right away to put it back in your deck. And if you have help from future self, potentially play it again, which could make a huge library access churn. And it's got the nice phase shift with library access and wild wormhole. So that churn could be bonkers. That'd be a lot of fun. And lots of amber and stealing. Some stealing in shadows. 5 steel cards. And the disc has a lot of good creature control. Double life ward. Lash of Broken Dreams. Poltergeist. This looks like a really solid Coda deck. Looks like a lot of fun. 87 SAS, that can be yours for at least 125 euros apparently. Alright, next up, we have the Time Warden that repairs tungsten. 85 SAS, mass mutation. An Ultra Gravitron deck with Sloppy Labwork Autoencoder. In disc, we have Infernus and Stirring Grave to put it back. In Zarian, we have City State Interest, Monument of Faust with a Faust the Great, Asaurus Rex, a Praefectus Ludo, Spoils of Battle, City State Interest. Alright, that is being sold by Torvalpo, aka from the frog stream. Oh man. What are they called? Key frogs. The key frogs. And that has a buy it now for $120. Floximal says, maybe I should buy this to start an 80 plus tungsten collection. Hey, an all tungsten NKFL lineup? Go for it. Yeah, Keyfrogs guys are great. I enjoyed them. Okay. Next up, we have 85 SAS Worlds Collide E. Azel. It's got Logos Saurian Star Alliance. In the logos, it's got both a Maverick Red Alert and a Legacy Pip Hip. Also has Tau Tau and Tropic Swirl, Scientifical Hack, Hologramophone, and Saurian. We have a Tribute with a double Imperial Scutum, a Saurus Rex, a Orator Hisaro, a Odoac, Traciarian Legionary, Golden Spiral Library, a Polyosaurus. And Star Alliance has a Captain Val Jericho with Stealth Mode, and Crash Muldoon, and Helmsman Spears, and Lieutenant Kirkar with a Force Field, and a Lay of the Land. So pretty nice Star Alliance there. And also a Quintrino Flux. So good creature control kind of in all three houses. Only 9 Ember Pips. And only 7.9 Ember control, but you could potentially delete a whole bunch of Ember with that Tribute and an Imperial Scutum. Yeah, that's an interesting deck, actually. So that's being listed by Zep90 for 80 euros. And last deck of the week, 88 SAS Mass Mutation deck being sold by Panic. Panic! Don't panic. Don't panic. Doesn't have a price. We have a Cronus with a whole bunch of enhancements. So, of course, we got to go to the Master Vault. Check out where all those enhancements are. Oh, I forgot to share. We'll get to that. Let's see. So in that logos, there's 4 drop pips to go with that Chronos, and then 3 more drop pips in the Saurian. So that's not bad. It's not bad. But this also has a Ultra Gravitron, a Daughter, a Sloppy Labwork, an Autoencoder, Forge Compiler to potentially ward your 8 logos creatures. In Saurian, it's got Axiom, Double Console Primus with a Monument to Primus, a Spoils of Battle, Prefectus Ludo, Damosaurus, and Untamed has a Vault's Blessing with 8 mutants. Only 2 of them are in Untamed. Most of them are in Logos, but especially if you get a bunch of Logos mutants out, then the Forge Compiler goes off, maybe set up a Vault's Blessing churn. Vault's Blessing is definitely live in this deck. Yeah, Keyfrog and Fangtooth after you do that Vault's Blessing. Also could get it off with the Savage Clash and bring it back with Resurgence. So if you hadn't got your Fangtooth yet, lots of nice stuff in this one. You can keep bringing back the Pismire with the Resurgence, or at least bring it back once. That's nice. Yeah, that's a pretty cool deck too. Not a lot of Ember control. Okay, I did want to share. So, of course, everybody was acting like it was Christmas after this Master Vault update happened where you could see enhancements. And it is cool. I mean, I'm thinking back, I don't remember any enhancements to the Master Vault that FFG did in kind of all the time that they had it. And already we have a huge improvement. And going back to the story, I thought it was really interesting that at the bottom here they said, we are continuing to work on ways to not only improve upon the Master Vault experience, but also add new features that you, the fans, will enjoy. So I really like that. And then also, Ghost Galaxy, of course, has been doing a great job of being very interactive. And I did see them post on the Discord actually just before I started the stream. And everybody had thought this data was lost, and they haven't really said yet how they got it, but they did say, we were very excited to come across that data when we were migrating the master vaults. So maybe it was lost, but they found it when they're migrating the master vault. I don't know, but very awesome. People have asked for more information. I'm not sure if we're going to get it. But everybody in the Discord was just going nuts yesterday. So happy for this news. And what it does actually open up a lot that we thought was closed down. For example, if there's ever a digital client in the future, official digital client, the worry was, hey, mass mutations and dark tidings, we wouldn't be able to play them because we wouldn't be able to confirm the enhancements. Hey, we got them now. So now those decks are now live if we ever have digital client in the future. There's a lot of net deck or even just any competitive events where you have to confirm enhancements. Some of the neck deck events, you'd be able to place enhancements wherever you want. Now it's going to be what the real deck is. So, yeah, it's really good. They posted that in the Archon's Corner Discord. That was from Mogler, who is the operations guy. Yeah, for all we know, here's the thing with FFG. We really have no idea what happened there. My take is, they were owned by Asmodee, a big corporation. They probably had a very limited budget. I'm guessing the Master Vault was contracted out to you know, some software vendor. And then after that, they probably had a very small amount just for upkeep slash if any emergency happened that they would support, but they weren't really doing development on it. And so I'm guessing that no one actually knew if they had this data just because they weren't involved in it. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? But it's awesome that Ghost Galaxy found it and they made this update and they announced it and boom, within a day it was live. Very exciting. And if you guys missed it before, TCO has already implemented importing decks automatically to include the enhancements. And shout out to them. If you have the means, really go check out their Patreon and see if you want to support them because they really help keep the game alive for the last 3 years since the pandemic, since we've not had OP. So patreon.com/the Crucible. Really, really think about, and if you have the means, if you can support them a little bit. They do so much for this community. Okay, so that was fresh marks and other fun stuff. We're not gonna have a deck spotlight today. We'll bring it back next week. But next up is Crack-a-Pack. And I forgot to get the deck ready. So we've, over the course of the last, I guess, 4 weeks, we've opened a AOA, Worlds Collide, Mass Mutation, and DT. We haven't yet opened a Call of Archons. So we could open the Call of Archons, or to celebrate the Master Vault update, we could also open a Mass Mutation. So let me know what you think while I go get some decks. I'll be right back. Mass mutation it is. What's up, Stalker? Nice to see you. All right. Let's see. Do I have something sharp? I do. But it's not me. All right. Mass mutation deck. Let's go. Hey. Let's open this up and we can scan it right away. I actually haven't tried with the webcam yet. Could I do that? I wonder if I could do that live with maybe a webcam I'm not using. We might have to try that. Wait. I guess we're opening it anyway because we got to see all the cool cards for the stream. So I haven't scanned with webcam yet, but the mobile website, I did scan one deck with that since they released the new Master Ball, and it was very responsive. It was nice. Okay, so we have Logo Sanctum Shadows, Coreware, the Private Prophet. And this prophet has a really cool like mask thing going on with horns. Yeah, pretty cool arc on here. It's got lots of big square particles floating around it. Coreware. This could be the private prophet. This could be like a cyberpunk prophet. Coreware. Yeah. That's very fitting. It's got logos in it. Then okay, we're gonna do a little bit of shuffling of the houses because that's fun. Okay. Hey, Stalker, I still owe you a mass mutation deck from the Game Found campaign when we closed it out, and we're doing the raffles, but you just haven't been here yet. Square particles are my jam. Yeah, I know. Okay. First card, we have Dinobot. Fight. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Put one into your hand and one on the bottom of the deck. Reap, discard a card from your hand. If you do, draw a card. Ooh, yeah, we have autoencoder. There we go. After a card is discarded from your hand, archive the top card of your deck. So OP, I love it. I love that card. We have a QMax. Play, draw a card. Destroyed, archive QMax. Okay, we got lots of speed already. Oh, and we have one of my favorites, Bouncing Death Quark. Play, destroy an enemy creature and a friendly creature. You may repeat this effect as many times as you like, as long as it is possible to repeat the entire effect. It's really great with the QMax too. So good. ABC of autoencoder. Always be discarding. What's the C for? I don't know. We have a causal loop with a damage pip. Play, archive a card, archive causal loop. Always be card discarding. We have a Munchling. Skirmish, fight. You may discard a Logos card from your hand or archives. If you do, gain 1 Ember. We have an Infomorph with a draw pip. Always clear your search history, Dr. Escatera. We have Bot booked in. Reap, play the top card of your deck, and it's got a damage enhance on it. Look, Momo, now I have a Quantum Death Ray too. Good. With the Infomorph and Munchling and a QMax, we have lots of fodder for our Bouncing Death Quark if we need to take care of their board too. I like to see that. Ooh, and a Forge Compiler. That's nice. After your opponent forges a key, destroy Forge Compiler and ward each friendly creature. That can be devastating. We don't really have any super amazing cards to go with it yet. We have a group think tank. Action, deal 4 damage to each creature that shares a house with at least one of its neighbors. Fire control by committee. We really need an EP though. We need an effervescent principle. We don't have any ember control. Ooh, we have a mutagenic serum. Omni, destroy mutagenic serum. You may use friendly mutant creatures this turn. And last Logos card, we have a Positron Bolt. Play, deal 3 damage to a flank creature, deal 2 damage to its neighbor, deal 1 damage to the second creature's other neighbor. Alright, not a bad Logos, not a bad Logos. Just have to worry about Amber control in other houses. Okay. On to Sanctum. Let's do a little bit of shuffling. And, oh, I didn't add that to this one. We need to do a little bit of shuffling.
Every day I'm shuffling.
Okay. First up in Sanctum, we have Smite. Play, ready and fight with a friendly creature. Deal 2 damage to the attack creature's neighbors. I actually really like Smite. It's a great card. We have one stood against many. Play, ready and fight with a friendly creature 3 times, each time against a different enemy creature. Resolve these fights one at a time. Spicy. Yeah. Smite fans unite. We have Equalize. Play, redistribute the ember on friendly creatures among friendly creatures. Redistribute the ember on enemy creatures among enemy creatures. Cool, that could be fun. We have Gizelhart Standard. Each friendly creature with ember on it gets +1 armor. Play, exalt a friendly creature. We have a Seeker of Truth. Fight. You may fight with a friendly non-Sanctum creature. Nope, not here either. There was a little worm though. We have Champion Anafiel. Taunt. Steal thyself, knave. To harm them, you must first defeat me. We have a Lieutenant Gorvenal. That's why we need that smite and one what is that called? One stood against many. Get some capturing going on. After you fight with a creature, Lieutenant Gorvenal captures 1 ember, and then we can use Equalize to spread it out. It's pretty nice. Yeah, definitely quick draw. And another Equalize. That's pretty sweet. We have a Gormavan. We needed some artifact control. Omni, destroy Gormavan. Destroy an artifact. An object, no matter how sacred, is just a thing. Whoa, hey. I wasn't trying to move you. I was trying to move something else. Oh well. We have Umbra Knight. Elusive. Ooh, we have Dino Knight. That's pretty good for... It's not only is it an Exalt guy, but it's also a big body that we can use to fight with. And it's got a nice drop hit. Play, you may Exalt Dino Knight. If you do, deal 3 damage to a creature. So, if you all don't know about the new Exalt Guy meta, you really need to listen or watch the latest Sloppy Labwork episode. That's right, twitch.tv/Sloppy Labwork. Every Tuesday, they have an awesome show that they do. Really entertaining. Check them out. And in yesterday's episode, you really got to see the power of the Exalt Guy meta. So, we got an Exalt Guy. We're doing good. And finally, we have Charge. For the remainder of the turn, each creature you play gains play. Deal 2 damage to an enemy creature. Okay. On to Shadows. You know what that means.
Every day I'm shuffling.
So far, this seems like a fun little deck. I have to count the Ember Pips. If we get some good steel, I think, and some other key cards, maybe a little disruption. I don't know. This could be good. Yeah, good see so far. All right, we start out with a Mutant Cut Purse. That's where some of our damage pips were coming from. We have a Mole. This creature gains. Your opponent may spend Ember on this creature as if it were in their pool. Day 127. They still haven't realized. I'm not one of them. Okay, there's some disruption. Vandalize. Play. Look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. Discard one and put the others back in any order. I think it looks better. Mole plus equalize. Solid. Yeah, good call. Good call. Double equalize with Mole. Beautiful. We have Booby Trap with a capture pip. Play. Deal 4 damage to a creature that is not on a flank with 2 damage splash. I love creature control with Ember Pips, like Gleeful Mayhem, Booby Trap. Now, Booby Trap can't always get it off since it needs 3 creatures on the board, but you still get that Ember Pip. Okay, a little bit more disruption if we can get it off. Perplexing Sophistry. Play. If you have more Ember than your opponent, they discard a random card from their hand and you draw a card. I like this. It's a good effects plus Ember. This, like, we can just fill this house with those cards and we'll be good. Okay, we have some bounds. We might need some bounds. We have Tempting Offer. Play. Return an enemy creature to its owner's hand. If you do, your opponent gains 1 Ember. We have a Look Over There. Play. Deal 2 damage to a creature. If it is not destroyed, steal 1 Ember. I could have sworn I heard a Bumblebird. Next up, ooh, we have the Sting, and we have Gorm of Om. That's spicy. Skip your Forge a Key step. You get all Ember spent by your opponent when forging keys. Action, destroy the Sting. Spicy. Oh, this is cool. The Sting with Gorm of Om. We have Opportunist. This creature gains elusive. Play. This creature captures 1 Ember from its opponent. And so far we have a lot of Ember Pips in this house. This is pretty cool. We have Seeker Needle. Action, deal 1 damage to a creature. If this damage destroys that creature, gain 1 Ember. What was that? We have Francis the Economist. Skirmish. Fight. Each player gains 1 Ember. It's a win-win. Oh, with the Skirmish, that'd be pretty good with One Stood Against Many. Or even the Smite. And then last card, we have Nexus. Elusive. Reap. Use an enemy artifact as if it were yours. Okay. This looks like a fun deck. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Ember Pips in Shadows. $14 Ember Pips overall. Good creature control. Not the highest for Ember control, but it's got some stuff. But it's trying to race with a Sting. Yeah, so let's see if we can do this live where because they've released it, let's see if we can use our webcam. I haven't logged in. I am logged in. Okay. Scan a deck. Uh-oh. Allow? Oh, hey, there's my green screen. All right, let's do it. Boom. Oh, yeah. Doing it live. Core, where are the private profits? Cool looking deck. This one's going to be fun. I could see it probably not being super high in SAS either. It might be like super good for like SAS cap. Let's check it out. Let's import. Yeah, 58 SAS. Wow. Yeah, sorry. I should have tried to have you guys guess. I failed on that. I think this is much better than a 58 SAS deck. I think this would be great for a 60 SAS cap, and ABR League sometimes has 60 SAS caps, so the Ember control is very weak. You'd have to get the Gorbanol out, get the Smite going, the one stood against many, get a whole bunch of captured. But it's got some fun tricks, and especially with the Sting and the Ember Pips, you can just race. It doesn't have a ton of speed, but and with auto encoder, you can just discard everything that doesn't have an Ember Pip, more or less, or that you need to control the board. I think it's got a pretty good plan. Now, if you don't get auto encoder, it could be a little slow. Pretty cool. Cool deck. All right. Let's see. So that was Crack a Pack. And that's pretty much all we got for today's episode. Yeah, you guys saw the news with Bad Penny Press. We went over that. So that was taking a lot of my time, and it will take some time each week. I do have still some stuff I have planned for kind of the Dataforge episodes of old, where I dig more into a certain subject. But because I've been working on some of those other projects, I haven't had time. But I do plan to get back to it at some point. Have some ideas, and yeah, we'll get back to it. So, like I said before, if you haven't already, if you have the means, really consider giving the Crucible some money on patreon.com/thecrucible. Check out all these awesome people. Shout out to Dinobot Stream, twitch.tv/Dinobot333. He's streaming a lot of cool stuff, not only in KFL matches and Archon Best of 3 for the Keyforge Premier League, but he's been doing some of the Untamed challenges from the Swindle Dust Chronicles, and just other cool stuff looking at neat decks. And as I said before, twitch.tv/Sloppy Labwork. Check them out. They're also on YouTube. And you heard a little bit from Floximal. He's got a YouTube channel. Check him out. It's under Floximal, I believe. Let's see. I am. Is it also /@Floximal? No, it's not. Okay. Let me check my subscriptions. Who am I under? Oh, I'm under Bad Penny Press. Floxamol, do they? Oh, okay. They're youtube.com/Floxamol3237. Let me flip over. There you go. Floxamol3237 is their YouTube address. So check them out as well. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. It's a fun stream tonight, as always. And y'all have yourself a wonderful evening, night, day, wherever you're at. Be happy. Hopefully you're doing well. And with that, I'm out of here. Take care, y'all.